Check, 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 test, test, check, check, check 1, check 2, check 3, check 4, check 4. Test, 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 test. Now let's move that a little bit over this way. How's that? Test. Hello, hello. All right, there we go. That looks good. Sounds good. Audio levels looking good. Nothing peaking too much. All right. YouTube says we are live. I already did the social media posting, so there we are. We'll give that a minute for people to join, but yeah. So, apparently I went way too early yesterday. So today, I decided, let's try it just a little bit later. Hopefully I didn't overshoot the mark in the other direction. We shall see though. We shall see. Did a little bit goofing off earlier in Senran Kagura Burst Renewal. Got to hold hands and kiss the neck. All in all, the most productive 40 minutes I've ever played in a video game. Well, what else can I say? I'm enjoying the heck out of this game. It is incredibly fun. Incredibly compelling. Yeah. Not sure what else to say. I mean, what else is there to say? Yeah. We are fast approaching the final few moments of Pomu as a member of Niji-sanji. And it will be sad. I wish her the best. I've been a member since, I want to say, since day one. So these things, they always hurt. I mean, there's been quite a few that I was not a member of since day one. But it's always sad to see talents that you enjoyed so much go away. We're still reeling on Mel's sudden graduation. I mean, that just was like an additional little bit of bad news in the middle of January that we just did not need. Oh, hello once again. Nah, I'm just prattling on. You know, it happens. Life is full of many greetings and many farewells. All one can do is just enjoy the time we have together. Which is why I say, I've said it multiple times and I will continue to remind people of it. If you have a talent out there that you enjoy, someone that you support, you enjoy their content, you like them, whatever it is, then definitely give them the support, or at least enjoy their content as much as you can. Participate in whatever way you can, because you never know when they'll be gone. That's all any of us can do. Well, it's been about 5 minutes, so I started a little bit later today since, a certain someone was very upset that I started way too early yesterday. So I started a little bit later today. Hopefully that works. I've given it about 5 minutes now, prattling on. Yeah, so make sure that I'm gonna make one last check and make sure that okay, yeah. is on X. Posted to the Discord. Yep. Well, anybody who's not here, that sounds like a them problem. Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, been about 5 minutes. No sense to continue delaying. Let's march on and see how much progress we can make today. So yesterday we had voted on the initial budgets. We had expanded the budgets of healthcare and education. We had kept law enforcement and military at the same levels. We are running a -5 deficit. And now apparently we're continuing along that choice route. I'm assuming this is where we start to argue with our ministers over the particulars. Oh, my Discord? It is the Discord channel or just my Discord name? Discord name should be just @SquidCoyote. I think it's capital S Squid, capital C Coyote. Should be one word, no spaces. I've been meaning to throw out some more invites in case anybody wants to join the old shit posters. Occasionally I do like to stream movies and participate in community activities. But yeah, if I get invites, I'll let you know. But yeah, we are delaying things here. It's been about 7.5 minutes. If they haven't showed up by now, that sounds like a them problem. So let us continue. So yeah, we are expanding the budget on healthcare, expanding the budget on education, keeping the military budget and the law enforcement budget the same. And let's see where we go from here. Yep. All right, so as expected, this continued right after the meeting. So let's see how happy or unhappy everybody is and what we're gonna do. Chapter 2. Oh, did we clear Chapter 1 finally? Yes, that was it. That was it. That was the end of Chapter 1. Hey! Alright, so we cleared the prologue and we've cleared Chapter 1 now. You don't want to go to war with them. I don't want to go to war with anybody. I just want to be left alone. I'm trying to rebuild my country here. I'm trying to move us towards a more representative republic. One that respects the rights of all people. While not giving too much power to the fringe minorities who would create disorder and chaos in order to push their own personal ideologies and agendas. Workers' Rights Act. The WRA bill has been passed by the GNA. Section 1 of this bill sets the groundwork for fair compensation by establishing a minimum wage of 2.5 Swedish ren per hour. This serves as a benchmark for fair and equitable pay, ensuring that no worker in Swordland is compensated below this rate. Section 2 addresses the issue of excessive labor, setting a maximum limit of 60 hours per work week. This provision aims to prevent worker exploitation and safeguard the well-being of Swedish labor force. Section 3 introduces the concept of double overtime pay. This stipulates that any work performed beyond a 40-hour work week will be compensated at twice the normal hourly wage. This incentivizes fair work practices and ensures employees are duly compensated for their extended efforts. Section 4 focuses on worker safety and humane work conditions. It mandates that employers must take all necessary steps to protect their workers from occupational hazards and ensure a dignified and safe working environment. This promotes a culture of respect and care within workplaces across Swordland. Section 5 extends these protections to migrant or undocumented workers, granting them the same rights as Swordish citizens. Employers who fail to abide by these rules will face substantial fines from the government, and persistent non-compliance will invite legal action. Hi. The WRA, Worker Rights Act. Okay. So, I like the part about... Well, okay. Honestly, minimum wage is kind of silly. If people don't want to do the job, then they don't have to do the job. Nobody's putting a gun to their head. So I don't know about that. Excessive labor. Alright, that I can sympathize with. My last job, I was essentially working 50, 55, sometimes 60 hours per week. And when I was salary, I was working 55, 60 hours a week, but getting paid the same. So this actually is worse for people who work salary than people who get paid hourly, because I would gladly have taken an hourly rate for 60 hours of work a week than working salary and getting paid 40 hours and then just giving the company a free 10 to 20 hours per week out of my life. No, that's not cool. Double overtime pay. I don't know about double overtime pay. That seems a little overkill. Maybe like 1.5 times. Or 40-hour work week. Yeah, once you go over 40 hours, that's fair. I'm still not sure about the twice normal hourly pay, but yeah. Focuses on worker safety and humane work conditions. Again, I'm not against occupational hazards and safe and humane working conditions. It's not bad. It's this last bit. This bit right here at the bottom. Giving protections to undocumented workers. Well, they shouldn't be undocumented. They shouldn't be sneaking in here. They should be coming in documented so that we know that they're there, so that when these companies are taking advantage of them, we know, and that they have the proper channels available to them to seek some sort of, assistance with their problems. By the way, this is the act that Gus asked me to not sign. Oh, this was the guy. That was the guy from the. That was the dude. That was the dude who I was drinking with after everybody went home, right? Right? That was that guy. He was the guy with the business connections. Wasn't he? No. Okay, no. This is that's Gus. No, I was thinking the other guy. Gus. I don't know. I mean, I'm Tusk. Yeah, Gus. That's why I'm confusing him. Tusk and Gus. He's asking me not to. Well, I mean, this last bit. This last bit right here makes me lean towards wanting to agree with him. Like these other things. This is a classic example of sneaking in riders on bills. This is actually, for people that don't know about American politics, why a lot of shit that seems obvious or that we should vote for or do, well, why can't Americans just, pass a bill and fix whatever problem. The problem is because you have, you know, something that you have a bill, something like this, right? Where basically most everyone can see eye to eye and be like, okay, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. And then right on the tail end of that bill, some asshole politician, senator, representative, president, whoever, somebody that gets influenced by a lobbyist will sneak in some shit like this, where it's like, yes, we got all of this stuff up here that everyone agrees with, but then right at the bottom, we need to give money to undocumented migrant workers in order to protect their rights. And it's like, that right there. See, I'm leaning towards veto just because of that problem. And it also costs us money, which I also don't like. So I'm giving them I'm giving them rights, the same rights as Swordish citizens, but they're not Swordish citizens, and they're undocumented, and we're already having a problem. And then we'll be fining businesses. On the other hand, it's like it does discourage businesses from engaging in those practices, so but yeah, Section 5 is to prevent migrants and undercutting normal workers. Yeah, that was kind of what I was going to say. On the other hand, you know, introducing these rights will basically make it less profitable. So, yeah, I think I'm leaning towards signing now. Now that I'm weighing the pros and the cons a little bit harder, I am actually leaning towards signing this one. It's gonna cost us budget, but I'm okay with signing it. We'll sign it. No more uncutting the Swordish workers. Too late. Don't? What is... I've been meaning to figure this out. So, what does the load last checkpoint do? How far does that take us back? Do you really think I should reconsider? I'll let you make your case. If you really think I shouldn't have signed that, I'll let you make your case. Let it be? Well, I mean, this is the beginning of the chapter, so literally it just takes us back to the dialogue just before I made this choice. Let it be? Alright. As long as I didn't really fuck anything up. There's the ability to sign the WRA later on. Alright, okay. Regional investment decision. A proposed regional investment to strengthen the local economies. An evening walk with Monica. Residence of the President of Swordland Holland. Wait, that's our wife, isn't it? Budget allocation of law enforcement. Office of the President of Swordland. Maroon Palace. No money for regional investment. Yeah, because we didn't... Yeah. Monica's our wife, right? Budget looks just too bad. Yeah, we're at -6. I was hoping not to go this far. -5 was pretty much as far as I wanted to push it. That's our wife, right? Should I spend time with the First Lady? That's our wife. Let's go hang out with our waifu. I just realized something. I never maintained justice funding. Really? Did you reduce it? It doesn't matter what you do. With the justice? Interesting. Let's go hang out with the waifu. It is just the order. It was early evening. Still light out, with just a faint nip in the air. Frank was at a friend's, and Deanna was at an art class. Monica and I decided to go out for a walk before dinner. Our favorite place for a stroll was the nearby Capitol Park, the largest green space in all of Hallsword. Before the children were born, we had spent many an evening engaged in deep conversation along the riverside promenade. Another favored path wound through the woods behind the presidential housing complex to a private pond where the children could swim in summer. I was told that Saul himself had built the benefits of being president. Monica met me by the door, and we put on our coats and hats. I was going to suggest we walk towards Saul Square, but the guards told me it's been closed for yet another protest. I wonder who they are protesting this time. What does it matter? There are two sides of the same coin. Wait, we don't even know who's protesting. Did you say? I don't think she said who's protesting. What kind of answer? What kind of brain-dead answer is that? It's like I just go into automatic president mode. It doesn't matter who. They're two sides of the same coin. I'm just not even paying attention to you. Sorry, lady. Common thugs. I will make sure they are punished. Must be those damn communists again. The young swords are taking it too far. I see. So it's probably, so it's implied that it's probably the agitators, either the communists or the nationalists. Dialogue could have been a little clearer here, because scrolling back up, I'm pretty sure it doesn't say who the protests are, so that's quite an assumption for us to make that it's communists or nationalists, although it's a fairly good educated guess. Well, I'm not gonna say it's either side. Kind of leaning towards either one or two. Although the dialogue does make it pretty silly, because it just sounds like I'm assuming that it's either the communists or the nationalists. Who knows? It could be environmentalists. Environmentalists gluing themselves to the road and stopping traffic because, you know, being pains in the ass is what some people do. Also, I noticed the audio was a little faint. Let me know if that's too loud. I kicked it up just a little bit. I mean, theoretically, this is the 50s. No lunatics here. Oh, they've been around for a while. Trust me, they have. Okay, I'm getting a lot of peeking there. Let me make one tiny, just nudge it down just a tiny little bit so I'm not peeking as much. Alright, check. Alright. Still peeking a little bit. Hopefully that's not blowing anyone's eardrums out. Let me know if that's too high. Well, I mean, if we're just talking about nationalists and communists at this point, basically, in my mind, they are actually more or less the same. Environmentalists back then were ultra right-wing. This shit only started in the 70s. Let alone what I would say. They're two sides of the same coin. The Anton I knew in university never would have said that. Oh, calling me out. That's why I married you. Come here. Monica, Monica, Monica. When you say things like that, you make me remember why I put that ring on your finger. I was young and stupid. I didn't know any better. Funny how becoming president changes one's perspective. Monica's annoying, you'll see. I was young and stupid. I didn't know any better. I wish I could cheat on her with Nia. In any case, where shall we go? Now, I'm not sure Capitol Park is a wise idea in this climate either. You're right. It's not worth the security risk. Oh, now I'm worried about security risks after deciding to go walk out and hang out with the communists. Let's stay inside the gates. Nonsense. We have our guards. There's nothing to be afraid of. Let's go to Capitol Park. Hum. Still peeking a little too much. Darn analog controls. Let's see. That's a little better, I guess. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. You're right. It's not worth the security risk. Nonsense. We have our guards. There's nothing to be afraid of. So you just want to stay in? Okay, let's stay in. You're right. It's not worth the security risk. Let's stay inside the gates. I agree. Let's go then, before the children get home. Go where? I informed the guards about our route, and we left the house. The guards followed at a discreet distance as we headed towards the walking trail. And as we entered the woods, Monica broke the silence. So, how was your day? Paperwork, endless meetings, the usual nightmare. I'd rather not say. How was yours? Cranberry. Hello, Cranberry. 2 days in a row. My goodness. My goodness, you're alive, Cranberry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, 3 is pretty rude. I think I'll just complain about my work. Paperwork, endless meetings, the usual nightmare. I don't know. I imagine some might find that stimulating. I hope yours was better. Oh, it was fine. I caught up on some reading while the children were at school. Just outside the gate, I glimpsed Ionas Krona, the former Minister of Justice, walking towards Capitol Park. I remembered that Nia Morgana used to be his vice minister. He didn't seem to notice us as he walked by. Ionas had once fought hard and strong against Saul's judiciary reforms, but after years of the government blocking his every move, he gave up on his ideals and became a part of the administration. What did our ideals really mean if they could be changed so easily? What about the people we idolize? Evelyn also came around for tea. She says hi. She was feeling rather low, though. Apparently, she and Peter had a bit of a disagreement. What's she nagging him about this time? Peter's in the doghouse again? How'd it happen? Keep walking in silence. Just ignore her. just like, Yeah, pretty used to it. Peter the Jeter. Let's talk with her. Peter's in the doghouse again? How'd it happen? Apparently, Peter had too much whiskey, as usual, and didn't behave when Evelyn's father was over for dinner yesterday. Well, if you knew her father, you'd have too much whiskey as well. You know Peter. What do you think of this? That's Peter, perpetually pickled. I'll have a talk with him. It's just a rough patch, love. They'll be fine. To be honest, I don't care. Wow. I thought Peter was supposed to be our friend. That's kind of fucking rude. So that's kind of taking it a little lightly. That's kind of downplaying things, and that's like, I don't give a fuck. Many people in the community think, for little reason, that Peter is Frank's real dad. Frank? Which one was Frank? Oh, don't even tell me that's supposed to be... Okay, so they're thinking there's a little bit of NTR going on there. That's kind of fucked up. That's kind of fucked up. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. That might explain the alcoholism. Reminds me of that copy pasta about Dale Gribble knowing that John Redcorn is his son's father, and knowing that raising him and being his father throughout his life means that he essentially wins over John Redcorn, despite the fact that, you know, a lot of people would consider it cuckoldry. that he knows that John Redcorn is suffering because he has to watch his kid be raised by another man, and he'll never ever call him dad. All right, Peter, you're supposed to be our friend. I will agree to have a talk with you. That's Peter. Perpetually pickled. Perpetually pickled Peter. That's what we call him. Alright. I'll have a talk with him. Good. Evelyn seemed close to tears. You totally can play this game as Frank Underwood, though, if you watch House of Cards. Nope. I have not watched House of Cards. It seems to be pretty popular. I may check it out someday, actually. I don't know. Did you? And would you say that it would be the sort of thing that that might interest somebody who is having a lot of fun with this game? Although I do know who Frank Underwood is vaguely. That's Kevin Spacey's character, right? Basically the president. Being married to a shrew like her would make anyone turn to the bottle. Damn, spit them facts, son. Speak your truth, King. Speak your truth. Aren't you glad you and I don't have these kinds of quarrels? The American one was good, but Walking did it. Okay. Well, I'll check out the British one. I like British stuff anyway. There's just something about the old worlds, especially the original, the homeland, I guess you could call it, for a certain American perspective, I guess. There's quite a bit of charm to it, at least for me. He was the whip and later the VP. Aren't you glad you and I don't have these kinds of quarrels? Monica didn't say anything. We kept walking. You know, Evelyn hasn't been the same since what happened to her at Hallsard Post last year. You remember how she got fired for supporting Alfonso? Peter tried everything to get her job back, but it didn't work. Maybe he didn't try hard enough. She had it coming. Damn, son. Some of these dialogue choices. The bitch had it coming. She shouldn't have been dressed like that. A sad day for journalism and free speech in Swordland. Where can I find the show? The original British one? No idea. The American adaptation? No idea either. I'm gonna guess maybe Amazon Prime? Of course, there are other avenues for one of a certain acquisitional mindset. Okay, number 2 is a jerk answer. See, I kind of once I finished playing this the way I tend to try and play games, I'm tempted to come back through this game and be just a giant jackass to everybody. The US one is definitely on Amazon Prime. The UK one, I just... But where's all the rum gone? Okay, so... we're not going to go number 2. As funny as that would be. I'm tempted to do it just for the laugh. He didn't try hard enough. I don't know if I want to blame Peter. Maybe it was beyond his control. Yeah, let's pick 3. A sad day for journalism and free speech in Swordland. I completely agree. A sad day indeed. But enough about the Vectorns. I also spoke to Janice on the phone. Who? Who? Star-Lord? Who? Oh, Janice, right. The Janice. The Janice Monica talked to on the phone. The phone Janice. The Janice that Monica would speak to using a phone to communicate. That Janice. Monica's Janice. Just say who twice? Who? Who? You remember my friend from university? We were in the soldiers' literature class together. Oh God, not lit kids. Oh dear God, did she grow out of wearing all black and having piercings and tattoos everywhere? Or is she still unemployed and a drug addict? A few years younger than me. Red hair, scar on her forehead, piercings, bright-colored hair, black clothing, band t-shirts, years of regret. You know, you've met her. We had dinner with her and her husband once or twice. Husband? Is that her husband, or is that the man that? No, it's getting way too fucked up. Neither the name nor the description rang a bell. Right. That Janice. I still don't remember her, but go on. Anyway, she's been working as an executive assistant at the Violate Pictures film studio. She recently became pregnant and asked her boss for paid maternity leave. And guess what? She was fired for it. Well, at least she can always eat the kid. Can't her husband provide for both of them while she raises the child? Look at it from a cost standpoint. Obviously, they don't want to lose money. After asking for maternity leave, that's terrible. So what? These choices. Oh my God, this game. Oh man, I really want to replay it. If this game had multiple saves, I would already have started another save and just be playing it as a pure jerk. I'd be running like a parallel game where I was just like choosing the asshole option every time. Yeah, I don't care. Who? Whatever. Fuck them. I don't care. Whatever. Screw them. Screw you. Screw you. Screw you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Screw you. You're okay. I didn't got a problem with you, but fuck you anyway. And fuck all you. You don't even have to see the hidden shit you unlock being a jackass. Look at it from a cost standpoint. Obviously, don't want to lose money. After asking for maternity leave, that's terrible. Yeah. Will be nice. I know. I was beside myself when she told me. And that's not all. They immediately replaced her with a younger, less experienced man, the son of an executive no less. That is utterly ridiculous! So she called the First Lady to ask for help? Nepotism, eh? They must have wanted him in there all along. Hey! Now that seems a little hypocritical if she's able to call the First Lady of the nation and ask for help with her situation. Doesn't that sword also cut her? Utterly ridiculous. So she called the First Lady to ask for help. Yeah, that's kind of a jerk answer. Nepotism, eh? They must have wanted him in there all along. That doesn't justify what they did to her. As it happens, another friend works for a television station that's hiring secretaries, so I connected the two of them. Terrific! Problem solved then. Alright, let's go home. You're welcome, Monica. Glad I could help you with problems too. That doesn't solve the deeper problem, though. So you're finally starting to see things my way. Women in this country are still seen as wives and mothers first, human beings second. Hey! Hey! I had a mother and I loved her very much. I still love her. I don't think she died. I don't remember the extended family in this game. But I didn't think any less of her as a person. And you, just because you're married to me, I don't see you as anything less than an absolute partner in this family. You're the mother to my children. You're my wife. You're the one person that has walked with me the longest through this long path of life. I don't see you as a second-class person. You are my equal, my component. I find it insulting that you'd even assume that sort of thing, not just about me, but about the other men in this country. They're harassed at work, underpaid, blocked from positions of power, and those are the lucky ones. Now listen here, lady. Alright, workplace harassment is unacceptable. On that I can agree. Underpaid, each person gets the wages that they're paid for. Or at least, that's our intent here. There's a lot of problems, not just for women, but for all of the Swordfish citizens. Blocked from positions of power, that comes down to a lot of different factors. We are attempting to address the ones that are unfair, but sometimes it comes down to the person themselves. How many female oil rig workers do you know, Monica? How many garbage collectors do you know? Are women getting into fist fights in the street to fight a man to become a sewage worker? How lucky do you think those men are? Demolitions. How lucky are those men? They get paid money. They get paid good money. But there are also a lot of them that don't come home. The fact that there are still places in this country where little girls like Tiana are denied the right to an education. Okay, now that's fucked up. I can agree to that. Yes, and I will do what I can to change that. Go on. I'm sure the parents have their reasons. That's probably a cultural thing. Changing culture is a little more difficult than changing laws. We can't just tell the people how to think. I don't know if I want to continue down this line of dialogue. You're kind of getting crazy into weird esoteric topics that we may not have the resources nor the power to solve. I guess I'm going to go with number one. Yes, and I will do what I can to change that. It can't just be you. These little girls and people like Janice need someone to speak on their behalf. A role model. A successful woman. We had reached the pond at the end of the trail. A park bench overlooked the water. Monica gestured to it, and we sat down. Which brings me to my point. I know that the mayor of Enrica, Curtin Lest, will be delivering a speech at the annual opening of the Benfeast Festival. I wishes to take his place and deliver the speech instead. Lest was one of Sordland's most influential politicians. He had started his career in Benfi before raising to power in Enrica. Benfi's current maker had personally invited him to make the opening speech. Ooh. You're asking me to call in favors to let you jump the queue so that you can be an inspiring figure. But why are you only asking for this once your friend got fired? Why could we not have had this discussion a long time ago? I kind of see where you're getting that she's kind of obnoxious. Replacing him with Monica would likely anger him. Probably not enough to cause a huge incident, but enough that he might use his influence over the conservatives to block me in the assembly. I want to preach the speech on women's rights in Swordland, on the oppression and discrimination we face every day, on the basis of our sex alone. I want our voice heard, and this festival is the time to do it. I just need your blessing as my husband and the president of Swordland. Oh, so nepotism is okay when it benefits you. It's not okay when it's some studio executive getting his son hired. Remember my time with you at the Swordish League of Women in the university? You supported me then. I'm asking you to support me now. Monica's eyes were blazing with fire I hadn't seen since we were students. She wanted this badly. But I had to be careful with my promises. You have my full support, always. Sure, it's just a speech. What's the worst that can happen? But I already considered what's the worst that could happen. That actually sounds pretty bad. Does it have to be at the festival? Why can't you make your speech another time? Absolutely not. Out of the question. Just say yes gives me some funny dialogue. But then I'll be lying to her. Do I want to lie to my wife? Maybe for another playthrough. Say yes? Okay, we'll say yes. When talking with Gloria, aka Margaret Thatcher. You have my full support. Always. This is why I love you. Thank you, Anton. You have no idea how much this means to me. Monica beamed at me, her face flush with excitement. One way or another, I want to contribute to this country, no matter what happens. We are not weak, Anton, but we are only strong as long as we stand by our ideals. This was why I had married her. This passion and resolve. I should have anticipated that, sooner or later, she would join me in the political arena. We rose from the bench and started making our way back home. Otherwise, we'll end up like old Alfonso, Colonel Sol, Ionis Krona. Now that's a heck of a choice. who are we gonna throw shade at? I don't really have a preference here. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I'll leave it up to chat. 1, 2, or 3. You can click all 3 if you pick the wrong one. Really. So I'm just like, that one? No, I meant that one. No, I'm sorry. I meant this guy. That's what I meant. Sorry. I've been drinking tonight. I was out with Peter. Let's go with number 3 then. Jonas Krona. Oh, first try. First try. Exactly. He backed down on his ideals, and now everyone knows him for what he actually is. Spineless. If that was how people remembered Jonas, how would they remember me? Whatever he had done, whatever ideals he had lost, he must have had his reasons. Would they remember me as a true patriot? A reformer of the country? What would they write about me in the history books? Let's get back to the house for dinner. Lead the way myself. Of course, lead the way. I want to pick number 2 just because we had all that dialogue about about basically feminism, and it's like, yes, I heard you out. All right, now follow me. We're going home. Yes. Of course, I'll lead the way. I was just starting to understand the meaning of those words. When we arrived home, I called my secretary, Livia, and asked her to inform Mr. Lest that Monica would be making the speech in his stead. The sun began to set over the horizon, bathing the clouds in shades of orange and pink. Alright, so we can't invest in regional. So let's see what the dialogue is like. Gus Manger and Seaman Hall have prepared an extensive regional investment package to revitalize one of top 3 economically fragile regions by boosting the municipality budgets, providing large sums of business grants, and giving cheap loans to companies with liquidity problems. The proposal can be implemented in one of the following regions: Berge, Lauren, and England, or not. -2 government budget. Lauren is the best option, but yeah, I don't think I can do any of these. Can't. Sorry, guys. I was in my office reading reports from the ministries about the current situation of the protests. My next scheduled meeting was about the law enforcement budget with Nia and Lilius. I heard some knocks on the door. Nia entered and took a seat in front of my desk. Lilius was absent. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Lilius will be late. Apparently there was an urgent matter at the Ministry of the Interior. She'd attended to. Shouldn't take long. What urgent matter? Very well, let's wait. That's a couple of minutes less of Lilius. Great. What urgent matter? She said something about supply distribution for the police forces. Nothing major. I returned to my reports, and Nia smoothed back an errant strand of her hair. There was an awkward silence. While we wait, why don't we have a little chat? This might come off as a little strange, but I am proud of you. Despite everything, you are actually trying to reform the country. This is just the beginning. There is so much more to do. It's we, Nia, not me. I couldn't do any of this by myself, so no, I am proud of you. Flattery won't work on me. What do you want? Well, thank you. You certainly have a way with words, don't you? Words are just words. No. I don't have the budget for it. I'm still hovering at -6. I don't have the budget to invest in anything else. I don't think I do. Again, first time I played this game, I don't know much about how the mechanics of this game work. I didn't even know you could go into the negatives until you guys thankfully let me know. Words are just words. Actions are what's important. And I wouldn't be in the president otherwise. Words are just words. Actions are what's important. And you seem to be doing well at both so far. Pros are canceling out the cons for sure. She leaned forward. How are you really holding up, Andon? Being president, I mean. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but it's also the best thing I've ever done in my life. Nothing I can't handle. It feels like the whole weight of the country crushes me down every single day. The community is very certain that Nia and Ciara are in a lesbian relationship. Well, Ciara is an annoying lesbo feminist. Maybe Nia's just bi? It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but it's also the best thing I've ever done in my life. I can imagine. So much responsibility and so much power at the same time. I want to assist you in the country as best I can. Unfortunately, my hands are tied with the current budget allocation we have for the law enforcement. She barely finished the sentence before we heard a knock on the door. Nia almost jumped in her chair. Lilius Graf entered the room. Mr. President, Nia, I hope that I'm not interrupting your conversation. No, not at all. We were just discussing a few things. Nia smiled at Lilius. I'm sorry for being late. There was an important matter at the ministry. The security forces of Bergia are arbitrarily not cooperating with my department and created some minor annoyances. Unfortunately, due to my limited authority in the special zone at Bergia, I cannot control their operations. Luckily, they didn't completely botch their tasks and actually uncovered a large network of priests that are recruiting Bergian for the Bludish Freedom Front. Well, at least those priests weren't doing other things that priests are infamous for doing. Good. Do your best to keep the miscommunication with the governor's forces to a minimum. We need to take the war against terror seriously. You were late, Miss Graf. But now that you are here, let's begin with the meeting. That sounds very significant. You want to explain more? Wow, chastise the lady. Well, she was late, though. That's kind of rude. Reasons or no reasons. She was late. Unacceptable. But the priests are poisoning wells, though. I wish I was kidding. It's on there. I want to hear more about these priests. The issue was a miscommunication about an ongoing investigation inside Bergia. But as I said, it didn't affect the results in a negative way. The investigation itself, however, revealed some troubling facts. We suspect the existence of a massive network of BFF-aligned priests currently serving in Bergia, or as we call them, best friends forever. We have discovered that most of the existing Golcondas sanctuaries and communities inside Bergia are indeed working for the BFF. Several reports also point to a possible infiltration of the Dasnaturist and Wirchist communities by these Golcondas sects. May the Divine God forgive us if this is true. This is worrying news. Keep following the lead. We cannot let these sects divide our society. Thank you for the brief report, Lilius. Tell me about the Golcondists. Of course, Mr. President. Lilius took the seat next to Nia as she continued talking. Well then, let's go straight in. We will provide a brief update on the situation of law enforcement. Go ahead. Yeah. The Ministry of Justice and the Supreme Court is working in close collaboration with the Ministry of Interior to address the protests in the country. I must add that thanks to the hard work of our judiciary, the law enforcement forces assigned to the ministry are doing their jobs efficiently. I would call it the success of our forces on the ground, not due to the judicial branch of our government. Lilius shot Nia a brief, withering glance. Ow! The current budget has dampened hopes of more funding in the force. Yet, here we are, with mass protests happening in the country. We are standing exactly where we were before. The decision made need to reflect the current situation of the country. This was certainly not the right decision when we were dealing with mass protests. Agreed. Many in the Ministry of Justice hoped for an increase and were not satisfied with the decision. Regardless, this means we will have to deal with the growing court backlog. It is manageable, but it will be a challenge for sure. Don't worry. I'm sure you will manage. I had to make sacrifices for the good of Swordland. You will do as you are told with what you have. Deal with it. Just tell them to deal with it and just moonwalk out of the meeting. Yeah, they're mad about me maintaining the budget. Wait, do they complain like this if you cut their budget, or is it worse? Because yeah, I maintained military and law enforcement, and I upped health and education. That's all I did. And they're acting like this over me maintaining the budget? Ungrateful. So rude. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll manage. Tell that to the policemen on the ground when they are overwhelmed by protesters. The ripples are already being felt across the country. I hope this decision is not the beginning of something bad. But if riots, protests happen, you are screwed with the cut budget. A brief moment of deliberation passed. Lilius and Nia got up from their seats. Well then, I must now return to the ministry. Me too. Don't you me too, me, lady. They left the room. As soon as the door closed, I could hear their muffled voices as they argued. What else we got going on? Lockhaven and Lungkurg. You know, we're past the 1 hour mark, but, you know what? Let's keep going. Alright, so, what do you think? Lungkurg or Lockhaven first? Sad you couldn't form any of the special forces. Can you only form the special forces if you have extra budget? Because I did talk to her about forming an anti-corruption group, but apparently you can only do that if you have budget allocated to justice. At least that's how I'm seeing it. Unfunded, law and justice, they argue about who gets the money. I see. So funded, they argue about where to put the money. On underfunded, we are vulnerable to riots and protests. I'm going to assume it's something similar with the military. If there's an incident, we're not gonna have money or equipment or people available to respond. Gestapo or community police. Non-maintained, you can still reform. That's weird, because I said the anti-corruption stuff was good. I must have chose something wrong then. Military is really overfunded. Yeah, I chose to maintain. Again, I chose to maintain military and law enforcement. So I probably could have afforded, if it's like that, I probably could have afforded to take money out of military and put it into law enforcement. Maybe on the jerk playthrough I'll try that. Like, drop the military budget, fund the law enforcement, go after the criminals. Be a jerk to everybody. Just walk in and drop my nuts on the counter every time and be like, fuck you gotta do, Holmes. Lenkirk or Lockhaven? North or less north? Gestapo is really funny and psychotic. I can imagine. Can I defund L and J? So what's going on in Lenkirk? Lenkirk is... oh, that's the highway. So we got the highway updates, and we got changes to the tax system. I don't think we have money to give them, though. Read the report. The Central Bank of Swordsland issued a damning warning regarding the extensive government budget deficit that has occurred in the first year of the administration. The potential consequences of irresponsible economic management were highlighted. Edith Agnock relayed that a large deficit could have dire consequences on the strength of the currency and could hamper the potential of still-to-recover economy. Gassam resumes hiring. Gassam, Lockhaven's local energy giant, has resumed its hiring operations after several months of pause. The company recently welcomed a few hundred new employees to its workforce, signaling a potential recovery phase after an extended hiring freeze. With the latest additions, Gassam looks set to rejuvenate its operations and drive towards a more robust performance in the upcoming months. Back to you, Dale. Oh no, the tax meeting is really important and short, and right after the first bankruptcy check. Go to the tax meeting? Alright, we'll go check out the tax meeting, because I think you both said taxes. We were at the top floor of the Business Council building, which is a great view of the beautiful Lockhaven. I looked outside from the tall glass windows. The Markian Sea stretched as far as the eye could see, and it was dotted with many ships towards the horizon. They were mostly cargo ships, carrying precious goods in and out of Swordsland. Tracing back the paths of the ships, I looked at the harbor. Lockhaven was home to one of the largest harbors in the entire continent. Many dockyard workers were loading or unloading the containers. Work never stopped here. The door opened. Simon, Mikhail, and Edith entered the meeting room. Mr. President. Mr. President, so nice to see you again. Good afternoon, Mr. President. It's great to see you all again. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Simon put down his bag on the table and started collecting his documents, while the others slowly took their seats. Mr. President, before we start, I would like to mention some rumors that I heard. Workers' Rights Act did not sit well with many business holders, especially the first section about the minimum wages. I heard the same. This has caused these businesses to lose millions of rents just overnight. Unfortunate, really, especially during a recession. What is unfortunate is that this bill was enacted too late. You are in no position to question my decision. I don't care about rumors. If someone wants to say something, they can say it to me directly. Yeah, I was thinking one. Neither of them responded. Simon waited patiently. Once everyone was ready, he adjusted his glasses. First of all, I would like to thank everyone here for their work on our tax system reform.
We all know how complicated our current system is, and this work wouldn't be possible without you. He turned to me. The ultimate goal here is to end the recession. Before we move ahead and start formulating a plan, we need you to determine our direction, Mr. President. We have a few possibilities as a result of the work we have done so far. We can increase, maintain, or decrease the taxes for large corporations. I believe some of us in the room have a few strong opinions about this. In parallel, we can increase, maintain, or decrease the taxes for small and medium businesses. Let's start with the large corporations, and we'll move to the small businesses.
Tell me what you think. What is the outcome if we increase the taxes to large corporations? What is the outcome if we increase the taxes for large corporations? What if we decrease the taxes for large corporations? Is there any downside to keeping things as they are? What does everyone think we should do? 4? We think so? Okay, we'll go with 4.
I don't think we can do anything at this point. Although I would have preferred a decrease in taxes, it doesn't seem to be the best option.
Our international trade is driven mostly by the products of these corporations. They are the backbone of our economy.
Exactly. An increase should be out of the question. These companies are the backbone of our economy and our way out of recession.
What is the outcome if we increase the taxes for large corporations? What if decrease taxes? Oh, so it's the same 3 choices, and then the last one is just let me make a decision. So I can just make it like ultra short. Just like, what does everyone think? Oh, I'm gonna make a decision. We don't need to talk about this.
I am ready to make a decision. Very well, Mr. President. We want to ensure the economy is on a balanced track, as further destabilization might have drastic consequences.
Increase the taxes! We'll increase the taxes for large corporations and balance with a decrease for small businesses. Maintain the taxes for large corporations. Decrease the taxes for large corporations. We'll decrease the taxes for large corporations and balance the budget when it's increased on smaller businesses. Tax the big businesses? Really? You think so? We'll increase the taxes for large corporations and balance it with a decrease for small businesses. I mean, honestly, personally, I kind of would lean towards that too. You think it's a good idea? We'll increase the taxes for large corporations and balance it with a decrease for small businesses. You are making a mistake. This is going to have outrageous effects down the road.
Enough. The President has made his choice. Well then, I have taken a note of our action. I will put it to implementation as soon as possible. We will be giving people some relief by enacting tax breaks for small and medium businesses. There will be an increase for large corporation taxes, which will help us sustain our balance. Simon organized a stack of papers he had in front and placed them back into his briefcase. Well then, thank you everyone. It will be all for today. Good work. Enjoy the Haven. Thanks, Simon. They left the meeting room, and I decided to stay a bit longer. I went by the windows again and kept watching the sea in silence for some more time. We're making enemies. This better pay off with the people cutting these tax breaks for the lower and the middle class. I said you don't have the corruption police, as they are the ultimate solution to capitalism runs. H3 highway construction created a second opportunity to visit the seaside down at Lenkirk, known for its salmon. Thousands of people from the city were employed for construction work by the new highway project. But the main purpose of our visit was to resolve the strike that began to endanger the deadline. The mayor welcomed us at his own mansion and took us on a brief tour of the city. We gathered at the city hall. Simon looked a little worried, but Lilius was dead serious. There was also a message of support from the mayor of Arvi, Eric Neal, who was grateful for the H3 investments. After dinner, we moved to a meeting room. Simon began. Taurus Holding has reached out to us and requested more funds. As per the report, they have sent to finish on the highway on time. They realize more capital is necessary due to the new labor laws. We scheduled the construction to finish sooner, but Taurus Holding might miss that target with the current trajectory. This is unacceptable. I should have known that a cheaper offer wasn't technically possible. We wouldn't have this issue if you decided to go with SSC instead of Taurus. Now they are requesting more funds to be able to cover the increased costs. If we don't provide, we could face a delay which would endanger our reputation. You can always go to war. Even if Rumburg is peaceful, you can invade them. Solid rule of acquisition number 5. War invading Rumburg is good for business. I do not permit incompetence. You will bring me their captains, you will bring me their leaders, you will bring me the business owners, and we will put them all into glorious gulag comrades. They will learn, and the people will learn through fear of the same becoming of them and their families. Bring them to me now. March them to the center of town, and send word that all of the people in town are to attend or face the same. If you didn't sign the WRA, the workers are on strike here, and demand that you sign it. Nobody demands things of me. Why do they even need the extra money? It's important that we finish the project on time. Money is no matter. So we're going to have to spend the money or take a hit in Yeah, I was leaning towards 2 anyway, yeah. Why do they even need the extra money? They need it for unforeseen expenses that came with the new workers' rights bill. A couple of shipment companies they had contracted with also increased costs on the necessary materials. The state must have more control over these construction projects. For the next project, we should appoint a direct manager from the cabinet. One thing is for certain. Our administration must avoid working with Taurus in the future and forsake choices like SAC. Mistakes happen in any project. The SSC is a better option indeed. No, it's not. Get out of my head, intrusive thought. That is not. No. 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 Underhall could be a partner. Mistakes happen in any project. Maybe. But we could have avoided this issue. There were warning signs around Taurus all along. Will we sink more money into this or let them figure it out? What is your decision, Mr. President? Additional funds? We don't have more funds. Give them the money, you think so? Well, we need to get it finished. They were the cheapest by far anyway. As you wish. I will allocate the funding to Taurus Holding. First they fail to do that job properly, then they get the money. Ridiculous. Regardless, the decision is made. Well then, thank you for coming. That is all on this matter. Let's enjoy the hospitality of the mayor. That I'm intending to. We left the meeting room. Before 2.0, you didn't have an option here. You just got a -1. You only had an option while they were on strike. Interesting. Back to Luckhaven. Alfonso Foundation asks for a donation. I don't know if we have a donation. Oh, they're asking for a private donation. This comes out of my pocket. The Alfonso Foundation, known for its philanthropic efforts, is launching an expensive fundraising campaign and asking for donations. The mission at its heart is twofold: addressing the homelessness crisis and battling income inequality in our society. Donate large sum. So basically, take out all my personal wealth, or donate a small sum. -1 personal wealth. Didn't invest in stocks, so you don't have the money. You say don't do it. Well, aren't we trying to fix everything to address the homeless crisis? I'm kind of leaning towards, now I again, first time playing this game, but I'm kind of leaning towards not investing here because I don't know what's coming next. This seems like more of a luxury sort of thing. You need money for special problems, and you have no rich allies anymore. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. And this is just me not ever having played this game before. This seems like the sort of thing you would do as a flex if you had, like, money falling out of your pockets. I don't have money falling out of my pockets, and I'm very quickly making a lot of enemies. That is exactly what I was thinking, actually. Get out of my head. Get out of my head! Or enjoy your stay, you know. Just make sure you clean up and put everything in the trash bin and put your dishes in the dishwasher on your way out. You can have 8 money here? Holy shit. Yes, the game seems like it would be kind of fun to play in different ways. Be like a corrupt, absolutely corrupt asshole, that sort of thing and whatnot. But for right now, no. We're not going to donate shit. Sorry, guys. Can't do it. I need to save my money in case suddenly my kid gets cancer or something. I don't know what the fuck might happen, but whatever it is, I need to save what little I have. I don't have a lot to throw away on homeless people. I got to make sure my family doesn't end up homeless. Remember the talk in the beginning where you talked about reforming the Constitution? Yeah, I remember that. As part of the planned program, we arrived in Leyrin to visit a middle school. The prestigious Torn Hill School was situated close to the suburbs, just outside the city center. The building was flanked by 2 hills, each beautifully dotted with shrubs and flowers. Lucian, Ciara, and I got out of our cars and met at the entrance. Our presence had not gone unnoticed. Apart from our guards, there were at least 10 reporters following us around. That must be the principal right this way, sir. The principal was a man of short stature, with a bushy mustache and a pair of glasses. He approached us quickly, but was stopped by the security guards. They started patting him down and searching him. Can't be too safe. Let him finish. I waited them to finish searching the principal. After a moment, one of the guards pulled out a latex glove, pulling it tight onto his hand, letting go of the wrist with a snap, saying that there was just one more check they had to make. Mr. President, such an honor to meet you. Shake his hand and smile for the cameras. Shake his hand. Smile for the cameras. This guy's gonna turn out to be a serial killer, isn't he? If you insist the president's state needs more power, you create a completely different run. Welcome to our humble school. Sorry about the security guards. It's a necessity, standards, procedure. It's good to be here. Let's begin. It's good to be here. Excellent. You must be Mr. Galad. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Ms. Walda, so good of you to come all the way out here. Thank you. At the entrance, The school's motto was inscribed on the wall in giant letters. Instretten sis ignicar a gerigina it ula almengerwoltene int ula mechis. Education is the premise of progress in all societies, in all families. We walked through the gates. There were many students lined up in the front of the stairs of the main building. As we entered, the students started singing the national anthem. Oh shit! Singing jump scare. The principal proudly looked at them. Marvelous! My dear students! After the anthem finished, all the students immediately snapped to attention and turned to me. Looks more like a military institution than a school. Exactly. That's what we pride ourselves on. Discipline has the utmost importance in our school. Some discipline never hurt anyone. Very good. We need more educated people, not a soldier. That seems unnecessarily rude. Very good. That seems like I'm agreeing with him, which I kind of disagree. Discipline is good, but we're enacting educational reforms, and we're definitely trying to move away from the nationalist identities. So, 3? You think so? 1. Play with him. One, three. Okay, one it is. Be a politician, smooth talk. Over promise, under deliver. A little discipline never hurt anyone. Ciara bristled. Yes, be angry. Be angry. Up to a point, perhaps. Look at these kids. I can assure you that our students are very well educated. In fact, our school is one of the top 10 middle schools in the entirety of Swordland. Now, we will watch the students take their daily student oath. A boy and a girl went up to the stage and grabbed their microphones. The students turned to them. I am a sword. My strength lies in my blood. I will respect our honorable elders. I will protect the young. My life belongs to Swordland now, and it will belong to it forever. I will always follow the guiding light of Colonel Saul and the great swords. Mugna Nuesco Vectron Sista. And then everyone clapped. Nod at the kids. My kids do nothing. Just kind of stand there. Socially awkward. These options. I swear, beyond being a jerk, some of these options, like, it would be funny to like play the like socially awkward president. The morning will come. Victory is close. Wasn't that in the prologue? I swear that line was in the prologue. I swear it was in the prologue. Wasn't that something we said to the other soldiers? Or am I imagining that? Am I going full like my dad? Sorry. Oh, sorry about that. Hope I didn't blow any of his eardrums out there. I tried to turn away. I tried to turn them. I had to make a choice: turn away from the microphone or attempt to awkwardly turn the microphone volume down. And if I did that, I was going to actually end up leaning in towards the microphone. Thank you. Yes, it was. I knew I wasn't imagining that. That was when we were doing our Gesundheit. Danke. That was when we were serving, when we were in the middle of the fighting, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember. Honestly, I'd clap having done my service, but that's just me. No, it was at the inauguration. Was it the inauguration? I thought it was. Maybe I'm Mandela affecting it. I thought it was during our military service, but I guess not. Okay, no, I'll trust you on that one. The first time was said by Sergey. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's right. My kids. Tips fedora. Well, I'm not wearing a fedora. I'm actually wearing a derby. Or a bowler, if you prefer. Depending on what you want to call it. I'm a dapper young gentleman. I'll nod. My kids. Words to remember. But no one even remembers it after they graduate. If you wish to follow me, we'll take a look at one of our classrooms. Through the hallways, we made our way into classroom 7A. As soon as I entered, the whole classroom rose up and snapped to attention. At ease, soldiers. Sit down, please. At ease. The students sat down, and the same boy and girl walked up to us. These are our top students, and our top class. This here is my son. The boy came over to me, and saluted me like a military officer. Tell Mr. President what you want to be. Mr. President, I want to be a general, sir. I am ready to sacrifice myself for my country, and you, sir. This is nonsense. What are you teaching these students? Good. You will make a fine soldier in the future. At ease, General. I will do whatever I can to not let that happen. A bowler is called a melon in German. Yeah, I'll have to remember that. Um, It's kind of leaning towards 3 because I don't want bloodshed and sacrifice. We're trying to be peaceful. 3 or 2, 3. I think we're gonna go with 3. I will do whatever I can to not let that happen. Thank you, sir. The principal squeezed his son's shoulders, and the boy looked up and smiled to his father. He patted him on the back and sent him off to his seat. The cameras flashed. This is simply ridiculous. You are raising soldiers here, not students. I'm so sorry. I will immediately perform disciplinary actions. How about you, young lady? What do you think about this? She is our top student in this school. Her excellent grades are too... I didn't ask you. She bent down and gently addressed the young student. What do you think about your school? Just between us girls. I'm sick of having to knit and sew while the boys learn science and chemistry. I'm smarter than all of them. Why do I have to take these stupid handcraft lists? Shh. Do you know who you're talking? Shut up. Let her speak. Sierra's presence had emboldened the girl. She went on. My math and reading scores are the best in the school, but they won't let me take the classes I want, just because I'm a girl. I want to be a scientist, not some soldier's wife. You heard her, Mr. Principal. You will make the necessary changes at once. But knitting and sewing are important skills to have for a woman. We need more people like you in this country. I applaud your determination. One, really? I mean, I am leaning towards reform, but that seems a little harsh, doesn't it? Knitting and sewing, well, I mean, they're important skills for anyone to have, so I don't know if I would say for women exclusively. I don't know. I would go against number 2 naturally, so between 1 and 3, that's an if either way. You can play this game as a hardcore cut. Pick one, but don't overdo it afterwards. Alright. As you wish, sir. At once. I will personally check back and ensure that the changes are made. Yes, sir. The cameras flashed once again. I looked around the classroom and saw a large portrait of Colonel Sol. Wow. Just go full asshole here. Take that shit down. Change everything about everything. Rah! Don't say anything. An excellent portrait of Colonel Sol. Very lifelike. One will create a lot of enemies. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm thinking we're already going to be pushing it with the reforms by choosing to change the education system in this way. I don't think we want to just throw Colonel Soul pictures into the garbage. So between 2 and 3. 3-ish. I'm kind of thinking maybe 3. Go with 3, play nice. An excellent portrait of Colonel Soul. Very lifelike. Thank you. Well then, unfortunately we are almost out of time. We have other meetings to attend to today. Thank you for the warm welcome. Mr. President, Lucian, please go ahead. I would like to speak with the girl alone. Thank you for the tour. Thank you for visiting our school, sir. Come on, class. 1, 2. All students in the classroom yelled, but the boy, whom I met, was the loudest. Morgna, we score! Vecton Sisda. After another round of photos, we departed. Briefing on the proposal of education reform. You can hang him. What? You can hang people? What? But only in dictator runs. Oh shit. Really? Oh man. Oh shit. So what, you go full like communist or whatever and just decide to hang him, or even I guess like non-communist nationalist, just hang people for the fun of it. It's really pushing. God, I'm loving this game. I'm loving this game so much. Alright. We're actually approaching the 2-hour mark, so you know what? We're going to push it a little bit further. We're going to push it just a little bit further. Just a little bit further, because I'm having a lot of fun here. Now that we've gotten past chapter 1, chapter 2, I don't know, something about chapter 2 feels a lot like it's flowing a lot more quickly, and it's getting a lot more fun. I don't know. Maybe chapter 1 and the prologue are just about establishing things, and then after that things really start to chug, but let's go a little bit further. We were still in Laren, staying at a modest guest house for state employees. Ciara set up a meeting with me and Lucian to go over her plans for education reform after our school visit. Lucian was seated across from me at the table, going through documents. Ciara entered the room. I don't know if I want to hear what she's going to propose, especially if she was pushing things as hard as she was in that press tour. She's gonna go full on feminist, isn't she? After the visit yesterday, I couldn't sleep thinking about that little boy and girl. I've never been more sure of my intentions to reform our education system. My favorite constitution. Justice can be replaced by president at will. President is immune from anything. Presidential decree outrank law. 15% election threshold. Lucian took off his reading glasses and put it on the table. I mean, we ran on reform, so it would be kind of weird for me to say I don't see what's wrong with the education system, but I'm also scared of what she's going to suggest, because I don't like what I've seen her. I don't like what I've seen her doing. I know whatever she proposes is going to be way, way, way too big of an ask. Ciara is a female communist. The reforms here are okay. Later requests a farewell. We did run on a reform, so again, I don't see why I would pick number 2. That would be like unnecessarily going back on promises for no reason. Unless, I don't know, if there was money in it, maybe. If I was playing corrupt asshole and I was getting paid not to do it. But we ran a reform, and there's no reason not to, so. I agree. An educational reform is necessary. Exactly. Those students have to repeat the same soulless propaganda every single day. They are being brainwashed at an age when their minds need to be free. On top of that, young girls are denied the same opportunity as boys. They're forced into the role of housewife before they even reach puberty. Nothing's changed since I went to school. Women like me, Lilius, Nia, even your wife. Hey, you leave my wife out of this, alright? I'm not gonna bring your husband into this. We had to study twice as hard to receive the same university education that you and Lucian took for granted. Is that the kind of country you want your daughter to grow up in? Mr. President, we need to bring change. We need to free the minds of these young people. They are our future. The reform is slightly unpopular with the party, you know, the guys who need to pass the Constitution. Ciara is too much of an annoying feminist to be married. Damn. Oh, damn. Blood really went there. I'm not committing to anything by hearing her out, am I? So I'm kind of curious to hear what she's going to propose now that we're broaching the topic. Or should I just ignore her ass? Okay, so we'll hear her out then. Very well. What do we need for an education reform? We need to keep politics out of the curriculum. Oh, really? Really, Ciara? We need to keep politics out of the curriculum, eh? By telling young, impressionable female swordish minds that they need to be astronauts, that they need to be oil workers, that they need to be demolition specialists. garbage women, perhaps. That they need to work in waste disposal. That they need to be frontline soldiers. Is that the kind of politics that you're telling us to keep out of the classroom? Saul should only be viewed as a historical figure. Children shouldn't have to repeat his name every day. Hey! It's our national identity. What are you trying to do here, lady? This is actively poisoning young, bright minds. Instead of thinking for themselves, they're learning to take things at face value. Yes. Instead, what we should do is roll in a bunch of people who are politically aligned with your agenda and have those people teach those kids how to think. I see. You are making a lot of sense, Ciara. I see where you're coming from. Teach the kids how to think for themselves by having a different group of thought leaders come in. We also need to ensure boys and girls receive the same instruction. Handcrafts like knitting and sewing should be taught to both sexes. Or not at all. Okay, now that I'll agree on. Alright. Sewing is not only good for fixing clothes, but how else do you think you close up a big wound on a body? You can't just slap a band on it and everything. Sometimes you have to put a suture in. And how do you put a suture in? Well, it's as simple, more or less, as sewing the flesh back together. So you got a point there, lady. You got a point there. Swordland's youth must be technically skilled and capable for the next decade. That won't be possible with the amount of nationalistic indoctrination and narrow-minded thinking found in schools today. Either we raise a generation ready for the challenges of the future, or not. What will it be, Mr. President? Lucian's been quiet. He put his glasses down and just sat there. Let's hear what he thinks. Lucian, what do you think? As much as I respect Colonel Saul, his time has passed. Now is our time. I do think this might be the first step of a larger plan. Reform the education system. You will not regret it. I will get to work immediately. Now that the decision was made, let's move on. Very well. Ciara skimmed over her documents before continuing. After the budget increase, the ministry quickly began formulating plans on how to effectively use the money. But before moving forward, the question of keeping education fully state-funded or allowing for new private schools remains open. Oh, this was the private school thing mentioned earlier. Tell me about the... Tell us about the benefits of allowing private schools. I've made my opinion clear. I'm against it. But it would give us additional funds for education while increasing competition. It would support our overall economic strategy of promoting a market economy. A few minutes of deliberation passed. We have enough money to improve education in Swordland. We do not need to complicate things further with the privatization incentive.
So, what is your decision? Private schools. Private schools. I'm leaning towards private schools. Private schools are very good, but it means that you have to pay for Frank's tuition. Well, I got the personal funds for it. Ah, I see. I see. So that's the rub. That's why we need personal funds. We make these choices, but in some of these choices we're gonna have to pay for it. As long as it doesn't take us below what we have in our pocket, I think we'll survive somehow. Conservatives and socialists don't like it. Well, fuck the socialists. They can deal with it. Conservatives... private schools. Will do. That should be it for now. I will get to work and report back later. You can't go in the red with personal wealth. Well, that's going to put us at 1 then if Shumi Logo Matbula is... This has been a very productive day. I will be returning to Holsard. Thank you for your time. See you later. Have a good day. Thank you for your time, everybody. We dispersed after spending nearly an entire day together. And I took a moment simply to breathe the fresh evening air of Laren. I felt calmer here somehow, but I would have to return to the chaos of Holsard soon enough. What's next? What do we have next? Volgan. What's the report? Goonie Rural Development Plan nears completion. The Goonie Rural Development Plan, the brainchild of Rural Development Minister Gus Manger, is nearing completion in Holsard. The strategy aims to revitalize the rural economy, fortify food security, and enhance the regional economy of Goonie. The upcoming presentation of the finalized plan marks a significant milestone in the evolution of Swordland's rural development agenda. I have no idea. Baron, you'll have to answer that question, because, as I said, this is my first time playing this game ever. I don't think we have money to invest. Let's see what they want. The Goonie Rural Development Investment is a proposal by Rural Development Minister Gus Manger to bolster Swordland's rural economies and secure the nation's food sustainability. The plan envisages a judicious allocation of resources to vitalize agricultural communities, fortify food security, and elevate the regional economy of Goonie. One potential strategy is the provision of subsidies for new farms, encouraging more players into the agricultural field. Alternatively, Manger proposes an investment in the mechanization of existing farms to improve productivity, or the initiation of crop research to foster innovation. We don't have the money for it, right? I don't think we can invest in any of these. If anything, if I had the money for it, I'd probably go with mechanizing. But we don't have the money for that, do we? I may have to do with don't fund here. You can go to -7 with your economy. There might be other things that need money. Kind of leaning against it, but food independence would also be a good thing. So it's like, meh. If I wasn't so far in the red, I probably would. I would at least go mechanize. I'd at least choose the -1s, if not the -2. Although subsidies, that's something you don't want to do. That opens the door to corruption. I think I'm going to skip this one. Skip. Skip. Your maximum red number depends on your economy strength, which is really well done by the devs. Yeah, I'm thinking skip. Skip going once. Skip going twice. Skipped it is. Ministry of Education has started work on education reform. Minister of Education Ciara Valda is reporting that she has begun working on the approved education reform. The details of the education reform will be finalized over the upcoming months. If the reform package is accepted, the next steps of this process would be to discuss the indoctrination of education. Indoctrination? We don't like that word around here. And now comes the Gloria meeting. Very important. Well, since we're at the almost 2.5 hour mark, I think this will be a good thing. We'll finish this, but I think that'll be a good note to end on. I'm trying to keep these chapters bite-sized for people who might want to. You know, my intent is to eventually create a playlist so that people can come back and enjoy the game, or just come back for the highlights. So, I think we're gonna make this the last chapter we play through, and then we'll call it a day. And hopefully, I'll see you guys back here. I'll try and pop it up at the same time tomorrow. So that basically, it seems like the target is about 7 a.m. my time. Then that seems the best time to stream. So I will keep that in mind. I will, in fact, set an alarm. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock Suzerain time. Because I am enjoying this game, and clearly you are as well. But let's keep going. I arrived at the Grand National Assembly, which is only a 5-minute drive away from the palace. Today, I had a private meeting with Gloria Tori, one of the leading figures of the USP, to get her approval for the proposal. She was also key in reaching 150 signatures to propose the new constitution, as she had extensive control over our party's conservative and moderate wings. As I walked through the corridors of the Grand National Assembly, I was confronted by my memories of the historic building. Despite being a member of the Assembly not long ago, it now felt like the distant past. I walked into the left wing of the Assembly, which currently acted as the quarters of the USP. Gloria's office was the first one inside. I knocked on the door and entered. Good morning, Mrs. Tori. Good to see you, Mr. Rain. It was a small, neatly organized office.
There were small figurines. Figurines? She's a weeb. She's got anime figurines all over her office. I shut my mouth and just tell you to strong back her at the end before making concessions. Photos and plants around the office. It had a homey feel unlike my own assembly office when I had worked there. On her gesture, I took a seat. The chair was very uncomfortable. How are you doing, Miss Tori? I'm fine, Mr. Rain. How are you? I'm very happy to see you, Miss Tori. It's been a while. I'm fine too, thank you. As good as I can be. That's what we all strive for. Anyway, let's keep this simple, Mr. Rain. We both know why we are here. You want me to give you my support. I don't see why the backbone of the USP would support your reforms. Don't you realize they go directly against the wishes of the founder of this party and the state? The reforms are not against anyone. It's all in the name of democracy. That word. Miss Tori, I need you to help me here. My reforms are very critical for the future of Swordland, Miss Tori. They are certainly critical for destroying what our party has worked so hard to build. Even though you owe everything to Colonel Soul, I think you never liked him, nor the party he built. There's nothing personal about this, Miss Tori. I would never betray our party. How dare you suggest I never liked Soul? I'm a proud Soulist. You can use the democracy line in a dictator run, and she calls you out for it. But then can we hang her? There is nothing personal about this, Miss Tori. Whatever you intend to do, you will be facing quite the opposition. That's all I can say. I'm sure we can make a deal. Perhaps I could change your thoughts on the matter with some well-placed investments. You must understand that these reforms are a necessity. Let me explain. Let's make a deal! I'm not so sure about that. Especially when you're trying to decrease the electoral threshold. You must know this will mean bringing the communists into the assembly. You probably have to deal with either them or maybe the PFJP. Frames seem to be positive about giving you support too. Don't try to bribe her. She has integrity. The decrease is important to democratize our elections. I have no deal with anyone. You're pointing fingers without even thinking. I can reconsider the decrease in the threshold. One? Think so? I don't know. Even if I had deals, my natural nature would be not to tell anybody about it. One is fair. Alright, one. I don't know how your acts can even be justified inside the USP. I do not support an election threshold of 8%. This sets a dangerous situation for us, as both the WBPB and the CBS will gain more power. I'd rather leave the threshold as it is. Very well. I'll change the threshold. That is not up to you, Mrs. Tory. My proposed threshold stays. Will that ensure your support? Funny is putting it at 10% guarantees the communists enter the parliament. So wait, the proposal, isn't it actually at 10%? Wait, wasn't it 10% before? I thought it was 10%. I thought we reduced it. We did reduce it at the beginning, didn't we? So complaining about... Am I misunderstanding or am I misremembering things? I think you're right. No, it's 10% and you plan to lower it. Oh, so leaving it as is, they still get in. It doesn't change anything. So basically all it would really do is force them into one party, more or less. Yeah, I am kind of leaning towards 2. So that's 2 less commie parties. That means we only have 1 commie party to deal with. Which means technically less commies overall. If it is at 8%, they fight and can both go to 7% and not get the 8%. Yeah, if there's anything that communists love, it's fighting and killing each other. The only thing communists love killing... The only thing communists love killing more than innocents is killing each other. Yeah, kind of leaning towards 2. Let's roll with 2 because that's what I would probably choose. But we need the support in order to change the Constitution. If you really screw up, they both get above 8% though. Yeah, and we don't want that. Screw up with the living standards of the poor. Well, we've been trying to help the poor, though. So I think we're all right. We've enacted worker reform. We've increased healthcare. We're increasing education. We're doing essentially everything that the communists want, which actually means the communists should be acting up more because we're not allowed to do the things that the poor people want unless the communists are dictating how we spend the money. That is not up to you, Mrs. Torrey. My proposed threshold stays. That's too bad. And yet you still want our support. I don't know if I can promise anything before I see action from you. Especially with all these issues you're creating for the party. You should at least remove the changes to the Member of Honor laws, or there will be no further discussion. You can't just target our founder and expect our support. If this point is not removed, expect a grand opposition.
Wait, so this is the one about persecuting or removing legal immunity, isn't it? I think we can actually let that one go.
This is not about him. Why are you against this, Miss Torrey? I was thinking we could work together.
Alright, fine.
I'll remove the changes to the Member of Honor laws from the proposal.
So number one? Kind of thinking number one.
Do it. Do it. Do it!
Number one going once. Number two going twice. Number three. Three? Really? Wait, what? Are you saying three, or were you just counting? Number one? Alright, number one.
Fine. I'll remove the changes to the Member of Honor laws from the proposal. Great. Now we can start talking for real. I must say I like the changes regarding the appointment of ministers. That's one positive aspect. But moving on. It is unbelievable that you are taking away the immunity of justices. A big mistake. Even though the Assembly is elected by the people, it does not hold enough judicial insight and neutrality to impeach justices. The separation of powers shouldn't be damaged. This is something I cannot accept. I don't see anything democratic here, Mr. President. Can you? It seems our understanding of democracy is very different. This will benefit the party. What I see is a bright future for Swordland. We need to be united. Let's change the topic and discuss how I can make you and the Conservatives happy.
She makes a point, but the court is held corrupt. Exactly. That's why. I mean, didn't they come up to us in like early on in chapter 1 and just straight up tell us, like, you gotta side with us because we're the court people and you need us. Like, they shouldn't be fucking doing that. How crazy do you have to be to see a situation like that and then be like, oh yeah, they're totally politically neutral. Their immunity is totally allowing them to be politically neutral. When they can just come to a president and be like, yeah, just flop my nuts on the table. You ain't getting what you want unless you give us what we want. What the fuck even is that? Yeah, the third main route of the game was the emergency run.
siding with the old guard in the cart. Yeah, I'm leaning towards 2. I continue to disagree. It's the easiest and least rewarding run. So, what are you thinking about? Are you ready to make changes to the proposal, or should we keep talking past each other? Yeah, I've already... Why are you asking me for more? I already gave you, like, not removing the MOH. You gotta give me something. You can't just keep ask, and have me say, oh, yes, ma'am. Okay. Miss Tori, please, try to understand me. I cannot give concessions now. She raised an eyebrow, and then took a look at the proposal on her table. You know what? I feel extra generous today. I believe I can give you the help you require. She repositioned herself on the chair. I do have one condition. I want you to cancel that speech you were planning for your wife at the Benfey Festival. Mayor Lester is not only popular in Benfey, he's one of the most influential members of the USP's conservative wing. We wouldn't want to upset him, would we? Oh, we're sleeping on the couch tonight, boys. We are sleeping on the couch tonight. We are fucking sleeping on the couch for like the next month, aren't we? Dad, why are you still sleeping on the couch? Because, Frank, this is sometimes what you do as a man. Go back to bed. Okay, Dad. I love you. I love you too, Frank. Yes! You could have a fist fight with... Oh, shit. Oh, God. This game sounds hilarious to play as an absolute fucking asshole psychopath. I'm already selling myself here, and you're helping it. Sell me on a second playthrough. What does he have to do with anything? I don't care if he's upset. Miss Tori, please. You're being unreasonable. Fine. I'll have Monica taken off the schedule and let him speak. That sounds like a you problem, Monica! You think I spent all that money on that couch just because it was nice? A luxury fold-out sleeper couch? This was no accident, Monica. You played exactly into my hands. Keikakudori. Wonderful. Just don't forget, Mr. President. The Conservatives will be expecting a lot from you. I will be expecting a lot from Conservatives as well. Of course. Whatever you need, Mrs. Tory. Good. I can get you the signatures needed for the proposal. I'll talk with the other Conservatives. I hope there won't be any surprises, though, Mr. President. Glad to hear that, Mrs. Tory. What surprises? I find your lack of faith in me disturbing. I assure you, there is nothing you should be concerned about. I'll hold you to that promise. I just hope you won't continue Alfonso's destruction of this country with your economic policies. Of course, I can't guarantee that all the Conservatives of the party will vote for your constitutional changes. I have serious reservations about privatizing healthcare or this older state corporation. The support of my faction can change. That will depend to some extent on your policies, but the signatures, at least, are as good as gathered. Which policies make you concerned? I'm completely against your efforts to privatize our educational institutions. The state must be responsible for educating its citizens. Your reform will corrupt our education system and bring foreign influence. But we'll discuss that later. What we expect from you is not to preserve further privatization. If you start privatizing healthcare or state-owned corporations, I doubt I can help you. Don't worry, that won't happen. Good. She stood up. I believe I've made myself clear. Thanks for stopping by, Mr. President. I hope you'll hold your promises. She extended her hand to me for a handshake. Once I shook her hand, she immediately sat back down. But now I need to get back to my duties. If you'll excuse me, Mr. President. I'll be expecting wing support, Miss Tory. She only responded with a nod as I left her office. The Conservative side was handled, but to get to the 150 signatures I needed, I would still have to deal with Alban Clavin and the Reformist wing. I went outside. Sergei drove me back to the palace. Oop. Missed that last part. Alright. Well, we are almost at the 3-hour mark. So we can consider this a double dose of Suzerain. Consider this my apology for streaming it a little too early the other day. Like I said, in the future, I'll probably try and start it 7 a.m. my time. 7-ish a.m. my time, which would be about 3 hours ago. So, if that works for everybody,
that's what we'll try and set aside it as Suzerain time. I hope you've all had fun. I have. Looking forward to see what's coming in the next chapters. We are now in chapter 2. So, I am definitely enjoying the hell out of this game. Appreciate everyone who tuned in for the live. Everyone who possibly tunes in for the VOD later. This is Suzerain. It's a really fun game. If you're at all interested, if you're seeing what what fun I'm having with the game, sadly, I'm doing all the voices here. So, but it is available on mobile. It's available on the Steam store, and there is DLC coming for it on the 25th of March. So, you got time to enjoy it. If this is your sort of jam, and you like your adventure games with a little bit of political intrigue, this is definitely the game for you. If not, well, that's fair too. Just find something else you like. Life is like that. Find the things you like. Don't get invested in the things you don't like. You only get one go around on this merry-go-round. Other than that, what else? Enjoy the time with your favorite VTubers, because you never know when they'll be gone. But even more so, friends, family, all those sorts of people. Enjoy the moments we have together with the people that matter the most to us. It's good life advice. Don't take anything for granted. That's about it. Good day. Well, it's good morning for me. Good morning. Guten Morgen. But yes, thank you everybody. Appreciate the support. And we'll pick it up tomorrow. Hopefully. But now, standard outro. I'll see y'all out there, and take her easy. Whatever you do.